Hello everyone and welcome to this session of Programming with Java. In this session, we are going to look into deeper detail the selection statement and within selection statement specifically the if statement. So let's start our session. The if statement are basically conditional branch statement that route the execution of program in two parts depending upon the condition is true or not. So if you remember our previous session, there we defined that the conditions are the situation which are Boolean expression and evaluates down to a value of either true, that is conditions are met, or either false, that is conditions are not met. And if the conditions are met, that is the output is true, then we do something, and if the output is false, then we do something else. So for example, let's say we are hungry. Now hungry is a condition, and if we are hungry, that is the result is true, then we will eat something, and if we are not hungry, that the result is false, then we will not eat something, let's say we will sleep then. So we can implement programmatically this with the help of if statement. So first we will write the if keyword followed by the condition. Now the condition here is if we are hungry or not, followed by the statement 1, which will be the statement if the condition is true, that is here if we are hungry then we will eat something. So statement 1 will be to print that eat something, and if the condition is not true, that is we are not hungry, then afterward we will write it after the else keyword, that is else if the condition is not true, then we will not eat something, we will else sleep. So statement 2 will be the sleep. So this is how we practically implement any condition in Java. So for example, let's say we have to design a program which checks marks of the student such that if the marks is greater than 50, then a student has passed the exam, and if the marks is less than 50, then the student has failed the exam. So if we identify the condition in this whole problem statement is if the student has passed the exam or not, so we will say that it is a condition. And passing of any student is dependent upon the marks obtained. If the marks is greater than 50, then our program will give an output that you passed. And if the marks obtained are less than 50, let's say, then our program will give an output that sorry, take exam again. So let's head over to Java and see how can we practically implement it. So first we have to create a variable marks in which our marks are stored. Now marks can be the integer value, so we will write int followed by the name of our variable, that is marks, and followed by the semicolon sign to terminate the statement or complete the statement. Afterward we will define our condition. So first we will write if followed by the condition within the parentheses. If you remember our if syntax, that is we first write the if keyword followed by the condition. So conditions are defined within the parentheses, so we will write if followed by the parentheses and condition. Our condition is that if the student has marks which is greater than 50 or not, so we will write marks is greater than 50, followed by the statement which will be evaluated if this conditions comes out to be true. Now we can define a statement either within the curly braces or without curly braces. Now if there are multiple statements, we have to define conditions within a block, so we will have to use the curly braces. But if there is only a single statement, then we can define it without the use of curly braces. Now it is recommended that we always use the curly braces to define the statement of the if condition. So we will write the curly braces or make a brackets, and within this curly braces we will write the statement which will be evaluated if the marks obtained is greater than 50, and the statement is that our program has to print the result on the screen that congrats, you passed the exam. So for printing the result we will use the system class, that is system.out, so that we can access the println method, and within that we will define a string that congrats, you passed. And if this condition is not true, so if you remember our syntax, that we have to write the else statement followed by the statement else keyword followed by the statement which will be evaluated if the condition is false. So we will write after this curly braces that else, and we have to print the result. So within the curly braces we will write that system dot out dot println sorry you failed, and we have to put a semicolon sign at the end of statements, and we have to end this block as well. So now we have designed our program. Let me improve its readability so that we can easily see what's going on. Now we have to give some value to our marks. So let's say the first student scored the marks, let's say 45. So we will write marks equal 45 followed by the semicolon, and if we run this, then we will get an output that sorry you failed, because 45 is less than 50. So this statement, that is congrats you passed, will not be executed, but the statement after else, that is if the condition is false and or condition is not met, then it will be result that sorry you failed. So similarly, if we remove this 45 by let's say a 55 marks which is greater than 50, and if we evaluate the program again, then we will get a result that congrats you passed the exam, because marks is greater than 50 and condition become true or condition is met, then the statement which follows the condition will be executed and we will get congrats you passed the exam. So that's all for this session. In the next session we will see the else if ladder and the nested if else within the Java. Thank you.